Go ahead.
Okay, so just to recap on the paving, here's the results for that, just so everyone knows on the council. Highest rating paving project was Omobile Highway from Market to Chico, so we'll move that forward first. Second highest rated was Bel Air Street, Ingalls to Washington. That was second. Third was Pascagoula Street, Highway 90 to Beach Boulevard. Fourth, which we don't have an estimate on, which I will get and bring back to you, but Ingalls Avenue from Market to Louise. And then the fifth was Beach Boulevard from Point to Washington. So as this works, you get about 1.9 million. So at the first, say, 4 projects take up the funding for this year, the fifth one will move to next year's priority list, if that makes sense. Okay? So you'll have number 1, Omobile Highway, 2, Bel Air, 3, Pascagoula Street, 4, Ingalls Avenue, and 5, Beach Boulevard. And then Miss Jackie gets hers almost ready.
So that's the sequence. And when do you
I will
estimate?
get them to Joe O'Neill tomorrow morning, first thing.
Okay.
Is the Beach Boulevard just the striping?
No, it was
It's the
paving.
whole man, it doesn't need to be paved. I hate to see us spend that money.
But my estimate, based on what you've got here, you got 1.3, 1.4 plus the Ingalls Avenue. You probably will not get to that this budget year.
Good.
I agree the whole.
Yeah,
doesn't
I'd put
be
it
paid.
5, because
But there
that's
are some bad
800,000.
areas, Like
so.
around close to your house where the bridge is, because I pulled my boat down there and the boat was about to bounce off the trailer. and
So
right there at the bridge.
If I had to tell you, you probably won't get Beach Boulevard this year. It'll probably be next budget year.
Well,
for you.
I mean, at the
So-
worst case, could you mill it?
At the worst case, we could do part of it, most likely. So,
I know, I know there's several buckled
there are,
areas there.
it's like going through a,
That
yes.
bridge is like you saying,
Bridge
it's like,
bad, it's doing
it's like you get, it's like a speed bump. That's what that
Is
bridge
it
is
like
like.
the one over there on, what is it?
Canton.
DeSoto, coming
Yeah.
from Eagles? I hit that everywhere.
Yeah, that's the one I grabbed.
Yeah, the sad thing about it, though, is that project is less than a year old.
I know, that's what the one I grab a her
That's,
about all the
that's
time.
the sad thing about it, is it wasn't done right to begin with.
Amen.
Go and do it on the, no, shut
Yeah.
up on that.
Well, I'm thinking, why couldn't you just take some asphalt and extend it out that far?
Get that big truck steamroller.
Yeah,
If it works, we're almost ready.
but I gripe with them about that all the time. Every time I
Who did
come.
that job?
So Ms. Turner is printing out your results now, get them back to you, so
Have
give her
you,
just a second.
The one over here on Canty by Ingalls, that bridge,
Yes, that's on her
have you ever heard me gripe about that?
a number of times.
It's probably
But yes, that's on her list from my in-house
It's like Scott
standpoint.
said, that thing's like a year old.
It's correct.
And
$20-something.
warranty, yeah. I've mentioned it.
Unfortunately,
It's crazy about this.
but yes.
We'll buy you,
You about have to replace
You go
your
all-
shocks every time you go through there.
that's to buy you Judge Cribs.
every-
So-
All the way to the river, right?
So give her just about 5 minutes and she'll be ready to go.
He says Ingles illegally filled and covered.
I was trying to think, there was one more that we were talking about, that, when you hit, the other one is that one on, Ingalls Avenue that's, I don't know, it's a 30-inch sinkhole that you gotta drive through. It's not really 30 inches, but it feels like it when you come out of it.
You're talking about
It's
the one
all right there
not
by
far
22nd
from,
Street.
not far from Steve Jordan's house, yeah, right there.
Mother of God, that thing has gotten worse and worse, and it literally is about that deep, but it's.
Yeah,
well,
I went through one the other day, and I'm trying to remember where it
And
was, and I can't remember.
The one that
May have been
infuriates
on
me
one
the
day.
most is, I'll tell you, is the project there at Martin and Ingalls. If you're going east on Ingalls Avenue and you ride over that new project, it's a lot rougher than the left lane, which is the old asphalt. And I don't get why, when you have a project like that, you sign off on it.
Right.
I wouldn't sign off on that. I would still be raising Cain if they hadn't got it fixed.
Right.
Of course, I understand the dynamics of that bad contractor kind of thing and all that. But it's boom, boom, you know?
Well, given the fact that y'all rank that in part of your projects, that'll get fixed.
Yeah. Well, at least we don't have to replace all the pipe in there and then get it fixed.
Now, I'm going to preface this part of the conversation with the fact that this was done very quickly, and I'm going to check stuff tomorrow, make sure we didn't screw anything up. But assuming that this process worked and I did all the tallying correctly, here are your results.
Okay.
The number on the left remains the same as the number in the initial list. If you want to look at that again, it's just a good reference.
So starting up with Buena Vista down is in order.
Right, the total score on the side is kind of when you combine any A that you voted for got 4 points, any B got 3, any C got 2, any D got 1, so you add it up across. So the Buena Vista design and easement acquisition and the Briarwood both unanimously got all A's. The Boxwood was short one person put a B, and then all the way down the list to the bottom. If, like for instance, in the middle there where you see a whole bunch of 21s, those are all exactly even. They're not ranked otherwise, other than just that's the number that they had on them before. So I don't know if you want to take a minute and kind of digest it.
Yeah, we'll look at it and see. But I tell you, is the Buena Vista is Lisa Keene's?
It
What?
is. That project is totally, to construct and everything, is probably in the neighborhood of 3 to 3.5 million. What I'm proposing at this point is to finish the design, all the permitting, and acquire all the easements with this money so that it is shovel-ready, and while we're finishing that we continue to look for funding to pay for the construction.
We got to get that done, because it just doesn't affect her, but you take a shower with a dribble of water.
We got 2 new houses right there, and
Yeah.
it's gonna be going online too.
Yeah, so the additional funding that we're working on now, that needs to be dedicated just strictly to that.
As we get that, we're entering that last kind of 10 to 20% of the design, which is when we define the easements. It may take some refining, depending on if any certain easements are impossible to get or some are easier. Once we get that completed, we'll have a definite final design and a much better cost estimate, and we'll be using that to try to get some funding to pay for the construction. I think what we were hoping tonight is, as y'all are looking through this list, I think you've pretty convincingly agreed that the top 3 priorities that the staff presented are also yours. And the combination of the remaining design and construction for the Briarwood and Boxwood, the remaining design and the easement acquisition for Buena Vista, as I said, is estimated just over 1.1 million. And if y'all are comfortable with moving forward with those are all projects that we have previously authorized and we've kind of put on hold pending funding. If y'all are good with that, we can get the train moving again on those 3, and then we can continue to look at this list as how you want to allocate the remaining 1.3, 1.4 million.
Well, I mean, you got the list with the top 3 that we all agree on, so.
Well, I mean, that's kind of what we were hoping to leave with tonight. If you guys are good with that, those are
No,
all approved projects.
Look, because of the deficit railroaded us, let's move forward and get them done. We need to be getting everything we can get done, I believe.
Do we need any kind of motion on that, or just?
Well, I'd like to see some more details about funding. I mean, like I said, this was kind of a poke in the dark kind of deal. I'd like to see the funding, what you think is a priority. I mean, you got, 10 cave-ins, which I was hoping they would all make it, but I mean, one may take $5,000 to fix, and
Right,
one may
and
take
some of those,
$50,000.
and some of those, if they come down here on the bottom of the second page, but it only costs me 5,000 and a free crew, then that may go off the list pretty quickly. Those are, I mean, we're not gonna ignore the
You're talking
bottom.
about the first 3 though, right?
I'm saying if y'all are comfortable
Just the
with the
first
first 3, that still leaves about 1.3 million to
Well, I know these
prioritize.
first 3 have been on there for the 6 years I've been on the council side.
So let's hit it.
So if we can continue to work towards those, I'm fine with that part of it. But some of these other ones that, like I said, we just kind of,
Right, and
that's-
part of
that's
what.
up to you. I mean, so-
Part of what we were intending at this point, when you look at a list of 120 projects and trying to get every one of those fully defined and estimated, really takes a lot of time and effort. At this point, when we're looking at the priority like this, we'll spend some good time on the top part of this list, getting some good numbers so that y'all can really decide how you want to allocate that remaining 1.3 million.
No, I think if you got on the first 3, we would be good. But I'm like, Scott, if you can find some low-cost ones, and we can knock some low-hanging fruit out,
We absolutely
5,000 here,
will.
6,000 here, pop 20
We
projects out.
absolutely will. And some of these are small like that, and we
Well,
will be
let's,
hitting
let's,
them.
let's identify those. There's probably 30 in here that you could do fairly easy comparatively. You know, if you take number one, how complex versus something.
And I
So
think what
why
you'll
don't you
find.
identify those
I
and bring
will.
them back to us?
I will. And some of those, if we already have pipe on the yard, and you know, some of the limestone and the dirt that the county helped us with, if we have that material already available, those are going to be worked through. And we'll work through them kind of in the order you prioritize them. You know, if I have 3 projects that are each $5,000 projects,
Yeah.
we'll go 1, 2, 3 and start knocking them out and cross them off the list. That's absolutely going to happen.
Well, I think that would be great for everybody after what we've been through to see some of these projects moving.
And what I'll do is, based on this priority list, I'll start refining cost estimates for the things that are towards the top of the list. I'll maintain that first list with the project numbers that y'all voted on, and I can share that with you and start filling in more detail on the highest priorities and go. I guess the only question I have is, do we need any kind of formal motion to move on the 3 since they were all approved?
We'll have to get a budget amendment at some point, so in the next couple of weeks, you'll see a budget amendment to fund these, but right now, just a headline spot.
Okay,
Not,
we'll keep on going. Thank you very much. I'm sorry for
thank you.
the
Thank you.
frustrating time it took.
No, this is good stuff, good stuff. Anything else, Frank? All right, so I have a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor, signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed?